Popovers are one of those items that always seem to impress people. They have such a beautiful presentation with their oversized, popped look, but they really are extremely simple to make. I think they're a basic that you are going to make time and again, and everyone is going to be just as impressed. I make mine a little bit sweeter so they're perfect for a breakfast or brunch, but you can also add some cheese and some herbs and make them so savory to go with any meal. These are going to become on your roster of your basic go-tos in a jiff. Before you start these popovers, you want to make sure your oven is preheated. It is so important to have an extremely hot oven for these. So set your oven to 450 degrees and move the rack to the second to lowest setting in your oven. You want to make sure they get the heat from the bottom as soon as you put them in the oven. To start, just whisk together some room temperature eggs. When you're making popovers, I think it is so essential to have everything at room temperature. It combines easier, and that way when it goes into its hot oven, it bakes up a lot quicker, which is what you want to have that popped look. After your eggs are whisked, add your room temperature milk. I think whole milk is really important here. You don't have to use it, but it adds such a wonderful, rich flavor. Whisk the milk and eggs together to fully combine the eggs and wait till they're a little bit frothy. You want to see those bubbles because that's really going to help lift these popovers. Once your eggs and milk are incorporated and a little bit frothy, you can add some melted butter. This really heightens the flavor and adds a really luscious velvety center. Whisk in a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. You can of course cut out the sugar if you want to, but I really think the sweetness makes a huge difference in these. Once all the liquid ingredients is completely combined and whisked together well, you can put in your flour. You really don't want to over whisk once you add your flour because it will create too much gluten and that will really just activate the flour too much. So whisk it just to incorporate, and if you see a few lumps, that's okay, because you still want to see all those bubbles in there. Set the batter aside and make sure to prepare your pan. You do not have to use a popover pan, but they do give a popover their iconic shape and look. You can use a muffin tin, they'll just be a little bit flatter and squattier and have a little bit different look. Whatever you do use, make sure to spray it extremely well. I love to use my favorite baking spray and spray the insides and the rim extra well because you want to make sure these come out really well. And it's also very important to have a non-stick popover pan. Both the non-stick and the spray are what's going to make these come out perfectly. Once you have your batter prepared and your pan prepared, you can evenly distribute the popover batter. They're going to be almost full and to the rim, but don't worry, that's exactly what you want. They will not run over like a muffin or a cake would. If you're using a muffin tin, it will probably make about double the amount, so probably about 12 muffins or 6 popovers. If you want to switch these up a little bit and make them more savory, you can add some fresh herbs. I love fresh thyme and some fresh Gruyere cheese, just a little sprinkling on top. And finish off with a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. This is great with a meal or with a hearty dinner, and it is so delicious. It just changes up the popovers slightly. Once they're ready to go, just put them right into the oven. As soon as you shut the oven door, you want to turn the temperature down to 425 degrees instead of the preheated 450 degrees. You just preheated it to that extra hot degree to make sure opening and closing the oven door didn't lose too much heat. Next, make sure to not open the oven door. This is really important. If you want to see them change and pop, just turn the oven light on, but don't open the door. They need that heat. Set the timer for 20 minutes and then just let them go. Once they've baked for 20 minutes, you'll see they've changed quite a bit, but they are not done. You want to again adjust the temperature down to 375 degrees. This is really so the outside of the popovers don't become too done, but the insides continue and finish to cook. Set the timer for another 20 minutes. In the last 5 minutes of baking, you can finally open the oven door and puncture each popover with a knife. This is just to let out all that steam that has built up inside, because when you get these out, you're going to find that the insides have become hollow and all of the batter has just formed these beautiful, huge popovers. Just poke each one. You can kind of see a natural seam in them where they're kind of spreading apart, and then you'll see the steam kind of come out right away. Once you have all of them poked, just close the oven door and let the timer finish the last few minutes. Once the timer has gone, remove them from the oven and immediately place them on a rack. Take them out of the pan. If you leave them in the pan to cool, the steam that builds up underneath them could actually cause them to sink inside of themselves. So you want to make sure to remove them and put them on a rack. These are best served steaming hot or just slightly cooled, but to make sure they're still warm, because the insides when they are fresh are almost custard-like soft, and the outsides have developed a beautiful rich crust that you cannot describe as anything but utterly delicious. Serve these at your breakfast or brunch with some wonderful butter and a little bit of your favorite jam, or have them with your favorite meal on the savory side with the herbs and cheese. You cannot go wrong with impressing everyone with your amazing popover abilities. You will see these are so easy, and you can make these time and again. They really truly are a basic. If you agree and like this video, make sure to click like below. And if you want to see more great videos, please click subscribe. We would love to have you become part of the Gray Boxwood family. And make sure to leave comments because I love to hear how you guys are inspired and using these recipes in your own lives to entertain and welcome people into your homes. Thanks for watching.